Hey everyone, I'm here with Mike, and he's the CEO of CashBet, and he's going to explain to us a little bit about why gambling is quite hot right now. So, Mike, how's it going?
Good, Michael. Thank you very much for having me.
Right, so can you explain what CashBet is doing right now?
Sure. CashBet is the world's only crypto-ready complete iGaming platform. And when I say complete platform, what do I really mean? It takes more than a game, a good game even, and a wallet to go ahead and run a profitable operation. We're a platform. We've been in use for about 5 years. We're licensed by the UK Gambling Commission, the Albany Gambling Control Commission. And what we're trying to do is introduce our cryptocurrency, CashBet Coin, to solve some of the problems that we see in the industry today. Those are things like trust, the ability to have a provably fair operation. A lot of crypto casinos are trying to do this. Speed, the improvements to the speed of the transaction, the cost of a transaction. Gas costs are continuing to rise. Bitcoin transactions can be expensive, take a lot of time. Access to content. I look at this industry and it's like the internet gaming industry all over again, started 20 years ago. There were casinos got maybe three different slot machines. None of them are very good, yet there's a lot of people playing on it because they like the fact that they can play with cryptocurrency and access. Frankly, there are a number of people around the world that are underbanked, don't have credit cards, and can't easily access world-class entertainment like we offer.
Right, so can you tell me a little bit about the gambling industry? Because gambling industry is something that we didn't want to touch before because it was just so hard. So, what's your experience like in there?
Sure. So let me give you a little bit of my experience, a little bit of history of the gambling industry. So gambling's been around forever, and pretty much every culture in the world gambles. I mean, whether it's people in Turkey playing tavla for money or people rolling dice or pitching pennies, there have been games of chance that have been around for a long, long time. In the 90s, internet gambling started to happen, and there were a lot of sketchy sites that started out, but like all technology advances, they seem to be driven by the sin industry, whether it's porn or gambling or whatever it is. And so gambling was an early entrant into internet. Around the late 90s or so, a number of what are big companies today were formed. These are companies like Playtech or Microgaming. And what they found was that you could aggregate content from a number of different game developers and deliver it to a casino, and instead of that casino now having three games, now they've got 50 games, and they become much more popular and much bigger. That's kind of what our platform does. We handle the marketing, we handle the game aggregation, we handle all the player management, all the stuff that you need to have behind the scenes to run a successful casino operation. You asked about the size of the market. Online casino today is about a $40 billion market, and it's anticipated to grow by 12% a year over the next few years. Mobile is the fastest growing segment there. It's growing by about 20% year over year. Compare that to social gaming, which has got about a $3 billion annual revenue worldwide, or esports, which is even less than that, a billion or so. Esports is growing very rapidly. We think this is incredibly interesting, and our platform can be used for esports as well. In fact, we've just launched a product called WinView in the United States, which is legal in 36 states. It allows you to go ahead and watch a game, and while you're looking at your phone, you're going to make predictions about the next play. And you're in a room with maybe 20 people, you're playing for real money, and this is legal in the US running on our platform right now. You can get it on the iTunes store.
Right. And we tackled one issue about legality as well, because I think different countries there's going to be different legal statuses for gambling. So right now, how legal is it to gamble for money in different countries, and which countries are they legal in?
Sure, that's an interesting question, and it's a difficult one to answer because the laws are changing all the time. What I've found in my history in online gambling, which has spanned about the last 10 or 12 years of my career, is that once a jurisdiction becomes legal, once a country legalizes online gambling, they don't go back. Because once you legalize in a country, the government starts taking revenue, the markets become liberalized, there's consumer trust, there's consumer protection, and so the market tends to grow more rapidly after it becomes legalized. For example, the UK legalized in 2013, and they weren't illegal before then, but they were considered what's known as a gray market.
Right.
And that gray market meant that there was no in-country licensing. Since 2013, that market has really taken off, and that's where we make a lot of our money right now.
So
Um,
you already have a license in the UK.
that's right. We're licensed in the UK by the UK Gambling Commission as both a casino software developer and a remote casino operator. And that allows us to go ahead and contract with players in the UK to take bets. We're the house. We offer about 450 games right now under several different brands in the UK. We also offer games throughout Europe. We've got skill-based games in the US, which are legal without being licensed. And we've got two major categories of gaming license. We've got the UK gambling license, which allows us access to about the 90 million or so people that live there. And then we've got an Alderney gambling control license. Alderney gambling control is an offshore license based in the Channel Islands. It allows us to go ahead and offer gambling to anywhere where it's not illegal. So we've got people in our home office here telling us where it's legal to have online gambling and where it's not. And it's not legal in the United States. It's not legal in China. It's not legal in Russia, but it's legal in most other countries. You're going to find that a good portion of the world, online gambling is legal, and either it's regulated on an in-country basis, or with our Alderney licenses, we're already able to go ahead and legally offer gaming.
So when do you obtain these licenses? Like, how hard is it to obtain it?
So getting an online gambling license is incredibly difficult. Imagine a stack of papers like this, Cliff,
Right.
and you get it from your accountant, and it's all of your tax forms for the last 10 years or so. And then every manager in the company has to have the same thing. Then you all have to be fingerprinted. You have to go through an international background check. You have to go ahead and write a business plan that's solid. You have to show that you have money. You have to show that you haven't laundered that money. There are many, many things that are required to go ahead and get an online gambling license. It is the most difficult thing I think we've ever done as a business. Licenses. It costs $1 million for a company to get your first license, and it's going to take at least a year. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Right, and you've had it for a while, so you've been personally through that process. Then, like, got your fingerprints on and scanned, and you've been through the paperwork as well.
We've been poked and prodded many times, and been treated and been questioned by many different international authorities. Yeah, we've got license in a lot of different places now, and we've gone through the process in New Jersey as well.
Nice. So, one thing about your business is that you're a platform as well. So you support a lot of these major gambling sites, but you're not always visible as a consumer brand. So why do you need this coin then? Like, how are you going to use it, and how are you going to interface with the consumer?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we are primarily a B2B brand, and by that we service operators, and those operators can either take the full platform, which is the whole player management system, the acquisition system, or we can provide them something called RGS, which is the remote game server. And that's simply a games feed where we provide them a single integration to our platform, and we give them 50 awesome games that they can go ahead and allow their end users to play. So what the coin is meant to do is it's meant to open up access, and it's meant to do a couple of things right off. We're going to go ahead and provide a unique VIP experience for holders of the coin. The CashBet VIP experience will require that players sequester up to 1,000 coins within their ERC20 wallet. If they've done that, they're going to see a level of VIP bonuses and things like loss back insurance that we don't give to our fiat players, because we're really incentivizing people to come in and hold on to this coin. We just signed a deal a few weeks ago, and we announced it yesterday with a company called Novamatic. Novamatic is one of the largest gambling companies, casino-based companies in the world. They do slot machine manufacturing. They've got an interactive division that does online gambling. They do social gaming. And what they've agreed to do is to take our coin, CashBet coin, CBC, onto their platform and use it as a payment mechanism.
Oh, nice. All right.
That's going to allow us to go ahead and help them to manage their VIP program for their crypto users. So we'll be able to go ahead and offer them the same sort of features that we have on our platform on their platform to their millions and millions of users. So that's going to go ahead and create a huge amount of demand for the CashBet coin. And at the same time, we're asking players to go ahead and lock up to 1,000 tokens in their wallet at a time, which tends to go ahead and reduce the supply of those tokens over time.
So the purpose of the coin is a utility and a kind of a payment system. So you have a utility of having a VIP, and then you have a payment, kind of payment flow system for it.
Yeah, let me take a step back for a minute. I mean, when you go into a casino, what's the first thing you do? You sit down at a table, you hand over your cash, and you get back some chips, and you use those chips to gamble. That's what CBC is. CashBet coins are gambling chips. You can use it on gambling sites, you can use it on non-gambling sites, but these are chips to go ahead and gamble. And the more operators that we get to buy into this with us, the more ubiquitous this coin becomes, the higher the demand for this coin becomes, the more benefit that we can offer to players worldwide, and the better value proposition we're offering token purchasers. We're going to require right now, like I said before, we're a B2B business, so we are requiring from now on that any of our B2B licensing customers allow the CashBet coin to be used as both a deposit and a wager mechanism, if appropriate, on their sites. So that's going to further increase demand. And there are a lot of people out there that want our platform. The platform is really good. It's the third platform that my partner and I have built. It's very modern. It's got all the features that you need to run a profitable site. And there's not a lot out there like it. In fact, it's the only complete platform that's available for crypto right now. So we plan to go ahead and sell this thing out to as many crypto casinos as we can, because they need us if they're going to go ahead and really be serious about their business and grow it. And we've also got interest from fiat-based platforms, fiat-based operators who are interested in a platform where they can actually take cryptocurrency on their site, because they see it as a way to go ahead and increase access to players that they don't otherwise have access to.
Right. And one of the things is, do you have existing, like, who are your existing partners? And will the existing partners take on Cashback Coin as well?
Yes, they will. I can tell you that there are a number of different partners. If you want the complete list, you should go to www.cashbet.com and take a look. But the biggest one is GreenTube. They've got millions of players, and it's going to drive a huge amount of desire for the CashBet coin. We've got a number of smaller operators that are working on the system as well. We've got some big operators. WinView just joined. They're in the U.S. There are hundreds of thousands of users in the U.S. We anticipate that's going to grow pretty well. Worldwide, I don't know what the number is, but it's millions of players that we reach with the platform right now.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
There have been like 17 or 18 casino or gambling related ICOs over the last 8 to 10 months or so. And a lot of these guys have done really well. Companies like Funfair, DAO, or Edgeless Casino. And so, what do we have that they don't have? And I can tell you a couple of things. First of all, with respect to Funfair, I think they've done a great job in their ICO. Really respect the team. I know some of the advisors on the team. And they're just not a complete platform right now. I've read their Telegram channel, and the CEO will get on and talk about wanting to have a platform deal by the end of the year. Well, we've got several already up and running, and I'm going to announce a couple more at the end of this quarter that we've obtained. So we're growing very, very rapidly. We intend right now to triple revenue from last year, and our platform is complete. Their platform's still under development. That's great. I wish them good luck on that. The third platform that we've built as a team, and the guys on this team, by the way, have been with me for multiple different companies, including my business partner, George Weinberg, who I met in 1992 at Lawrence Livermore National Lab. We met there, been working together ever since. The guy's like my brother. We get along great. We know what we're doing there. The platform that we've put together has all the features that you need to go ahead and run a profitable operation, including things like geo-verification systems, which allow us to go ahead and restrict play to a state-by-state operation where, maybe the skill-based game isn't allowed to be played in Nevada, but it is in California. So as soon as you step across the border, it shuts itself down. Or it'll shut itself down, for example, if you're in a Coliseum, because we don't want to give you the 2-second delay advantage that you have over the TV viewer. The thing about the other crypto casinos that are out there, they're either not licensed, or they're licensed by what we call a rubber stamp jurisdiction, somewhere like a Curacao or a Costa Rica, where you pay some money for this license, but it's not really worth the money that it's printed on. There's no player protection in place. There is no regulation really. And if you're a player there and somebody rips you off, you don't get your money back, good luck. There's no real recourse because there's no regulatory body in place. So what tends to happen is that players who are serious and want to gamble will go to the more regulated sites, the ones that have a a regulator who's got a better reputation, like the UK Gambling Commission, like Alderney Gambling Control. And the reason that they'll do that is because they know that they're not going to get ripped off. If there's some recourse, if somebody tries to steal their money, we have to have an adjudication provider in place so that somebody can arbitrate a dispute between us and a player, which rarely happens. But that, having that license, a lot of these crypto casinos are saying, well, we don't need to have a license. Well, if you want to have a lot of players, you do need to have a license because players respect that. They know that if they go to these places, there's a stamp of approval by a large regulatory body that's going to go ahead and make sure that they get paid back, that the play is fair, that the people who are conducting the gaming are not criminals. And that simply doesn't happen right now in the crypto world. So, we want to bring this white hat operation and bring it to this industry, which we think is really interesting and really burgeoning and really sort of crying out for a world-class experience. So that really differentiates us from anybody else who's out there right now. The other things that really differentiate us are the fact that we've been in business for 5 years, been profitable, we're venture backed. We've got 450 games already integrated into the platform. We've seen tremendous revenue growth over the last couple of years. And we're nice guys. I think that the other thing that's really a differentiator for us is the fact that we sponsor a major sports organization, Arsenal. Arsenal is not going to go ahead and partner up with a run-of-the-mill crypto casino who doesn't have a license. They simply don't want to promote something that's essentially illegal to their audience of 260 million people or so. They have hundreds of millions of followers on Facebook. The football industry itself reaches, basically half the planet, 3.5 billion people or so. So they need to be very careful about who it is they partner up with. And they decided and they chose to go ahead and partner with us because they know that we're a stand-up business, that we're licensed by some of the most well-respected regulators in the industry, and they know that we treat our business associates and our customers right. And so we're very proud to have sponsor Arsenal. And they're very proud to be associated with us as well. We hope that this relationship continues for many years to come.
Nice, nice. So will we see Arsenal players holding CashBet coins and and being available on the platform?
Yeah. Well, if you came to London a few weeks ago, you would have seen Ray Parler in our booth. And I don't know that he was holding a CashBet coin, but he certainly hoisted a couple of pints of beer.
Nice.
So, I think they have to be careful, right? They're not going to necessarily promote gambling, but they're going to promote our company as a stand-up company. I think they walk a fine line. You'll see that a lot of these sports teams have some fairly big sponsors and in the gaming business, and they certainly go through a thorough vetting process with those. Much like when we went and got our license, we spent a lot of time with their legal team to make sure that what we're doing is above board. There are some players on the team that have an aversion to gambling, and they can opt out. But we have access to players. We've got a box in the stadium. We've got LED lighting around the pitch.
Nice.
And that's seen around the world. It's really cool when we show that.
So one thing about cryptocurrencies is that cryptocurrencies are meant to solve some issues with your current platform. So are there any advantages of using cryptocurrency versus rather fiat currency?
Yeah, there's advantage to using cryptocurrency, and there are advantages to using our cryptocurrency over other cryptocurrencies. The fact that we have a smart contract that allows us to go ahead and time lock the tokens in place. What that basically means is that we're taking a set amount of tokens, and we're going to go ahead and say, okay, you can't use these for now. And in exchange for doing that, we're going to give you access to a premium experience, an experience that you cannot get with fiat currency. That includes things like loss insurance. So if you lose when you're wagering on our casino, we're going to pay you back. And that percentage that we pay you back is going to increase over time to a maximum of 15% if you're with us for 90 days. The other thing that we really are improving with the adoption of CashBet Coin into the platform is access. There are a number of places in the earth right now that are just underbanked. People don't have credit cards. They gamble like everybody else on the planet does, but they do it through a system of proxy betting or bookies. For example, we're talking to some operators in Cambodia right now, and great gambling culture, great people. They hand cash to a bookie who then creates an account for them on their phone so they can go ahead and make bets. And so there's this whole system of middlemen, which is, it's interesting. It's a social experience, But if you're sitting at home late at night, are you going to walk down to your bookies to go ahead and hand them over some cash to go ahead and gamble? Probably not. If you want to place a bet on the Arsenal Football Club, or you want to play a slot machine or something like that, much better to have Las Vegas in your pocket and pull it out with CashBet and be able to go ahead and use your cryptocurrency if you don't have a credit card to go ahead and gamble.
All right. So yeah, that's kind of weird because initially I thought, why would you want to promote on banking to the unbanked? Sorry, not banking, but gambling to the unbanked. But the problem is they do it anyways, and there might be issues as well with whatever they're doing because
They do it anyway. So we offer a couple of things that really help out the consumer. And this is one of the reasons that it's important to be licensed. We have something called responsible gambling in place. Responsible gambling allows us to go ahead and look, for example, at an exclusion list. If we know somebody has a problem with gambling, in the UK, they call some place called GamCare. In the US, it's 1-800-GAMBLER, I believe. But if you're on one of these lists, we won't offer gambling to you because we know that there are people out there with illness and there's a social problem associated with it. And we're not going to go ahead and add to that problem. We're going to go ahead and help that problem. So we donate a portion of our profits on an annual basis to problem gambling associations. We offer within the platform a way for people to set limits on how much they're going to deposit, how much they'll wager. They can set time limits. They can have a session timer pop up after a set amount of time to say, hey, you sure you want to continue? They can exclude themselves for 24 hours to cool off. They can exclude themselves for 6 months. So there's a number of features within our platform that we provide to every operator out there, which really make the game much more responsible at a social level.
right. And one thing I think I'm a little bit concerned about is underage gambling because, of course, that does sometimes happen, especially if you're on crypto because there's no KYC AML. So how do you deal with underage gamblers?
Well, first off, our policy is we don't allow anyone under 18 to gamble, and in other jurisdictions it's 19, some jurisdictions it's 21. Mm-hmm. We will do an extensive KYC process for anybody that we see who may be at risk, and those are people where, and it doesn't extend just to age. It may be because of very large deposits or things like that. But basically, what we'll do is, the first level of check is we ask you to self-verify how old you are, and then if you're in the UK, for example, we look you up on the electoral roll. If you're there, you have to be 18 years old. So, okay, that's a good first check. Once you've reached a substantial amount of gambling, say 200 pounds or so in the UK, we're going to go ahead and do some enhanced diligence on you. We're going to require that you go ahead and show us your driver's license or your passport and hold your face up next to it. That way we know that it is you and we're not dealing with some kid who stole his mom's credit card and put her ID in. So we take a lot of care and a lot of caution, and our customer service representatives are trained in responsible gambling and anti-money laundering, and they're KYC experts.
Nice.
I want to talk a little bit about our product called Crypto Go. Crypto Go is on our roadmap for Q1 of next year, and it's a state channel-based payment system. We call it a pay-as-you-go system because you don't have to go ahead and deposit a large amount of money into your gambling platform in order to go ahead and make a wager. We link your ERC20 wallet up directly to our system, and if you win a large jackpot, we can pay you immediately. And that's provided you've gone through our KYC and AML process previously. If we know who you are, basically, we can go ahead and pay you immediately. And that's a big departure from what currently happens in online gambling. If you win a large jackpot in online gambling, assuming you've already gone through the KYC and AML process, you've got to get a customer service rep to approve your withdrawal request. Once that's done, it goes to an executive who will also review, especially if it's a large withdrawal, and you'll be subject to their scrutiny. Maybe that takes a day and a half or so. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and approve it, make sure the money's in the account, and go ahead and send it to the payment processor. Once it's there, we've got to contact the card schemes, the issuing banks. We've got to go ahead and transfer those funds. That can take another couple days. So it can really take anywhere from 1 to, I'm going to say even 5 days to get paid out for a large win on today's casino sites. What Crypto Go is going to allow is an instantaneous payout directly into your wallet with cryptocurrency. You can go ahead and spend the money that afternoon, and you've got it.
Perfect. So now I want to ask a little bit more about the token sale. So Why are you choosing to do a token sale, and how much have you raised so far?
Sure. So we're in the middle of sort of a waiting period right now before our public sale begins. We want to make sure that we are doing the appropriate amount of marketing and getting the word out there and letting people know who we are. In the pre-sale, we raised about $10 million or so. We're looking to raise about 40. We're continuing to do some private placement sales right now. I anticipate that we're going to get a good portion of the way there before the public sale begins. And you asked why did we do a token sale?
Mm-hmm.
I can basically tell you that the company was in an interesting position last year. We're meeting with some big operators. I sit down in the meetings in the boardroom and they say, Mike, we love the technology, love the team, but we really need a company that's going to be able to grow with us as we roll out either state by state or country by country. And basically what they're telling me is that we're not big enough. So we had a board meeting in the middle of summer, I think it was July of last year. And Fred, our chairman of the board, stood up and he said, hey, instead of raising a Series B, where we have to go ahead and sell a third of the company, dilute ourselves, maybe raise the 12 or 15 million bucks that we think we need to go ahead and execute on the business plan, why don't we do an ICO? I was a bit skeptical, but I went away and did a bit of homework. And so we agreed back in August, I guess, to go ahead and head down this path. It's not like we're strangers to crypto. We've got engineers on the team who have built crypto wallets. I've got some crypto, some Bitcoin somewhere from about 2012 in a wallet, which
Oh, wow. Nice.
I hope I can find the key for someday. And
Nice.
so, yeah, like a lot of people, I think. But, the real problem was that until 2017, we weren't allowed to have crypto wagers on the platform because crypto has been treated as cash by all of the major regulatory bodies out there, all what we call the tier one regulators. And we're regulated by tier one regulators, the best in the business. And so they treat this as cash. Cash can't be wagered on an online gambling site because there's no anti-money laundering framework in place. In other words, you can be a criminal coming in, laundering your drug proceeds through a gambling site. And if you did that, we're liable and we're in trouble with the law. And so it's just not allowed. That all changed in 2017. The Isle of Man became the first regulator to come out with a framework which allowed for crypto to be wagered. And so as soon as that happened, we looked at it and we said, we need to be there. So we've now formed an Isle of Man company, CashBet Isle of Man, and we're going to be moving our operation there. We'll be the first casino licensed under this new tier one regime that allows for cryptocurrency wagering. It's really interesting. They've really thought it through, and they're a very, very forward-thinking regulator. So we're very happy to be partnered with them and to be moving down that path.
If viewers wanted to contact you about CashBet, so how would they be able to contact you?
Well, check out our Telegram group. You can search for CashBet Coin and you'll find us there. Or you can go to coin.cashbet.com and check out our ICO website. You can download our white paper, the one-page white light paper if you want. It's translated into a number of different languages. And we've also got a Medium group. We've got something on Bitcoin Talks. So I encourage you to go check all those places out. Check out our Twitter feed.
Awesome.
You can
Thanks.
see LinkedIn if you want to.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll put the links down below. So, Mike, thank you so much for coming on to this interview and telling us a little bit about gambling and what your platform does.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.